Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and lots of given digits today, including a full diagonal of them. We'll have a look at the rules to tough odds by Aaron in a moment, but first of all I do want to tell you that there's still time to try Regeneration, the Sudoku hunt that is this month's Patreon reward. Do join us on Patreon. Just for $2 a month you get the rewards, for $3 a month you get solution videos to the rewards, and there's loads of other content for everybody there. The connections videos, a very tough crossword video every month, all sorts of other things that we post on Patreon and invite you to partake in. Of course, we're doing 2 videos a day on the main channel, absolute minimum, and Wordle in a minute, so there's loads going on anyway. But if you want the extra stuff, it's there. If you want to encourage us to keep going, that's the way. We've also, of course, got Sven's Sudoku pad linked under the video, which is a great invention to forward. But also there's all of our apps, which feature not only things like Fog of War Sudoku, but also the latest 2 Sudoku worms by James Sinclair and Marty Sears. Brilliant pair of linked puzzles that you have to work your way through each bit of. It's highly recommended, great fun, lots of good reviews. Do check them out, and you can find all the links in the description field, as well as the first link, which is to this puzzle. It's called Tough Odds. I'm going to try and explain the rules now. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Any line of 3 cells in a single row or column cannot have the same parity, i.e. they cannot all be odd or all be even. For example, row 1, column 3, row 1, column 4, and row 1, column 5 cannot all be odd. They also cannot all be even, etc., etc. So that is a constraint over the whole grid, and I think we have seen this constraint before with other rules added in, but that's the only rule in this and some given digits. Intriguing. Do give it a try on the link under the video. I have no idea how hard or easy this will play. It's very hard to tell, but you can judge from the video length perhaps, which obviously I don't know yet, but I'm going to have a go now. So let's get cracking. Right, I am going to start. I think it's going to help to colour the grid. In odd we'll use orange, even we'll use blue, and now we have to avoid runs of 3. So that's got to be even to avoid 3 odds. That's got to be even to avoid 3 odds. This has to be odd to avoid 3 evens. And let's see, are there other things we can do to further the idea? Or is it just in those areas where we're literally provided with stuff? I don't know. I mean, we might be able to find little places as we go along where if you make one cell odd, then you're either going to be forced to create odds, a run of 3 odds somewhere else. I don't know. I haven't really worked this out yet. Actually, let's have a think about the whole of this row. We've got 2 odds and a third. We need 2 more. They can't both be there, and they can't both be there. I don't know. No, it doesn't really seem to be yielding anything. Okay, let's look at this box where we need another even. And 2 more odds. Right, the 2 odds can't be here and here, or that would be a run of 3 odds. So one of them must be here. That's the sort of thing we can do, it seems. So this must be even to prevent a run of 3 odds. Now we've got a run of 2 evens and we prevent a run of 3. Now we've got 2 odds and we prevent a run of 3 on both sides. This is running up a ladder now, up to the corner, I think. We've got 2 evens, so we get odds either side. We've got 2 odds, so we get evens either side. We've got 2 evens, so, oh, it's beautiful. So we get odds either side, and that becomes even to avoid 3 there. I mean, that's just intriguing. This is exactly the same pattern as we had down here. And we've got 2 more odds to find in this box. We can't put them both there because that would create a run of 3, so we have to put 1 there. And then we've got a run of 2, and that becomes even. Now we've got a run of 2. This isn't going to run down the ladder again, is it? That becomes odd. That becomes even. That becomes odd. It is exactly running down the ladder backwards. And now we've got not only this original diagonal of digits done, but almost everything around them. Beautiful, beautiful, Aaron. Very nice. What has that told us? Have we got any other things we need to block? I don't feel very good at scanning this, I have to say. This box, we can just count the number of evens. We've had all 4 evens, so that's odd. Right, that gives us a twosome and a twosome. And these need to become even to block off a threesome. This needs to become odd to block off both twosomes there. Right, now, there's another even to go in this row. We've already had 3. There's 4 evens, obviously, in every row. If we made that the even, then all of these would be odd, and that's a problem. So this one must be odd. Now we can just count up this box. We've only got 3 evens. We need another one. There it is. This is obviously one of each remaining in row 3. I wanted to do the same again here, but it's a different pattern. I can't. Oh, how about this column? No. No, it's perfectly okay to have a pair of odds in either positions available. Okay, I'm getting a little bogged down, maybe because I'm being dense. I have a feeling we're going to end up with a pattern of a lot of 2x2s. That is beginning to form in the middle. And it's clearly a pattern that breaks up the possible constraints. So it's just a feeling. Let's do Sudoku. Look, I can see this digit. It's odd, and it sees 3, 9, 7, and 5 in the box. So that's a 1. The 5 in the row. Ah, we can place the 5 in the row, and we can then colour it. And then we find we've got 2 oranges, and we need a blue beneath them. We can't make this blue. This is the pattern we like, because all of those will be orange. So this must be orange at the bottom. In this row, we've got all the odds done. I should have noticed that. That's even. That's forming a run of 2. That mustn't become 3. And then down here, this is going to be one of each. This is going to be one of each. Is it time to do more Sudoku? Oh yes, look, this sees 4, 2 and 8, and it's even. So that's a 6. I might as well do some pencil marking now, because it's becoming clear that there is Sudoku to do in this puzzle. And I'm just the man to give it a go. That's 6 or 8. I don't know, we're not quite as constrained as I thought elsewhere. Well, 5 in box 2 has to be in one of those 2 cells. And I don't know quite what to do with the rest. This is one of each. Sorry, I don't really know quite what I'm aiming at the moment. I can't find any more of these patterns that I need to block off. Now, if that was blue, well, that would be very interesting in the row, because all of these, there's 5 cells here, and 4 of them would be orange, so there'd have to be a blue in the middle. So if that was blue, that would be blue. What would that do? I can't see a problem. I have a feeling that's not right, because it's kind of breaking up my 2x2 pattern. Actually, that's broken up here. I hadn't realised. Maybe there is no such thing as a 2 by 2 pattern in the puzzle. Oh look, where do 3 and 9 go in this row? They go there and there. This digit is 1 or 7. These are 1, 4, 7. Now, does that imply anything rules-wise? If that was odd, which is at the moment a kind of 2/3 possibility, both of those would have to be even. And we've only got one odd to come in this row, which is, or in these 3 cells, which is a 5. I don't know how to use that. This can't be a 1, I've just noticed by Sudoku. That doesn't give us its parity, unfortunately. Three, 9, 1, 7. Now, if this was odd, there's one odd and one even here. If this was the odd one, these would both have to be even, and they would complete the evens in their columns. And then all of these would be odd. And would that give us a problem anywhere? I don't think it would. I can't see how it would if it would. These are from 2, 4, 8. There is a 6 somewhere up here. That's why I'm putting it in the corner, because it's in one of those cells. This is 5 or 7 by elimination. That's been available for ages. There's a 3 in one of these. I don't know. I don't know how to move on. Okay, I'm going to go crazy here. If this was even, that would have to be odd, and this would have to be even, this cell, because of the possible 3 forming there, then the possible 3 forming there. That would end up being even. But if this was odd, I thought I was going to get another little pattern that forced that to be even. Let's try it the other way around. If this was odd, both of these would be even, and indeed, yeah, just those. That would have to be even as well. If this was odd, this is one of the patterns we haven't really seen, where if it's separated by 1, the 1 in between has to go even. Right, so if this was even, no, if this was odd, they would both be even. That would make this one odd. So we'd have 3 odds there, 2 to go down the first column. That would be all the odds for the first column would be complete. And this would become a 4. It's tricky, but it does work. This being odd is tricky, but I can't falsify it quite. I am sort of noting that 5 and 9 have to go into these cells, and at least one of them is in this group. One of them can be there, but don't know. If that was 5, that would be 5. One of those two would be 5. I'm being very speculative here. I just can't quite see how we make progression. If this was even, this would be odd. If this was odd, this would be even. So at least one of these is even. Okay, I think that might tell me something about this cell. No, maybe not, because they could both, yeah, okay, they can't both be even. Right, here, these two can't both be even because all of these will be odd because of the count in the row. So they're not both even. However, they're not both odd because that would be 3 odds. So that's one of each. Now there's only one more even to go in the row. We can't put it here because that would leave 3 odds together. So this cell ends up being odd. Isn't that strange, but really potentially useful because that's starting to threaten a 3 in the column. So those two become even, and we know what digit this is from the candidates we've launched down here. That's a 4. That's really interesting. We've got all the evens in row 8. We've got one, now we've got a pair of odds. So these are both even. This is not a 3. Oh, what's going on up there? I don't know. One of each down here. Oh, hang on. This column's only got one cell left. We must just count the evens and that's odd. Right. I want to say that's one of each, but I don't know. I think that might be a risk. Could they both? They can't both be even for various reasons. No, they're definitely not both even. But they could both be odd. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm still getting a bit confused by the whole business. Right, what about this row? We've got one even still to come. Any news? Not really. This row, again, one even still to come. And this row, one even still to come. Does that say something about this 3 by 2? I feel like it ought to. But I'm not getting the message. I'm just not getting it. This digit sees a 2 and a 4 now. That is 6 or 8. There's a 2 or an 8 somewhere up here. That sees a 2 and a 4. That is 6 or 8. This is really interesting. Despite having done a puzzle of this sort before, I just don't get the patterns. I just can't grasp them. Oh, we said that was one of each because it couldn't be double even. That's too many evens. And it can't be double odd because that creates a 3. So we can do the count now. That's odd. Right. Now I've got 4 odds in this box. I don't think it tells me which of those is odd and which is even. Maybe I can do some Sudoku somehow. On the other hand, that doesn't look like it. This is 4 or 8 by elimination from 2 and 6. It's just, there's so few rules in the puzzle and I just can't find how to use the rule that we've got. Oh dear. Right, there's one of each to go up here. If we were to put even on top of odd, we would have to block off both runs with odd and even there. Then we would have ended up with a full even patterning in this box. And all these would be odd. That would have to be even again. I have a strong feeling this shouldn't be as difficult as I'm finding it. I mean, it's an absolutely glib thing to say. But I think I'm making a bit of a monkey of myself at the moment. Well, there's nothing I can do except keep trying. So that's what I am going to do. Obviously, these digits are both from 4, 6, 8. Something from 2, 4 or 8 is here. oh, again, maybe it's worth looking at that pattern. If this is one of each. If that was the odd and that was the even, these two would be constrained to be even and odd. And that would then be odd. This would be even and both of these would be odd. Well, one of these two pairs is double odd. Oh, that's really interesting. I thought I was coming up with one of each, but that can't be. No, one of these two pairs is double odd. And that means that 3 of these cells I'm highlighting here are odd. Now there must be a pair pointing north. So in one of these columns we've got double odd and even above it. And in the other one we've got a mix of odd and even with odd above it. So if this was the even cell, it's blocking double odd there. It must be blocking double odd here, because wherever the even is up here, it's blocking double odd. So we'd have odds in those cells. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to think of something else now. If this was odd, this cell, we'd have to block off 3s with 2 evens there. Then all of these would be odd. Now that would tell us this needed to be even. On the count, this would be odd. We'd have double odd here and this would be even. Wow. I mean, that would force this to be even. It's mighty constrained overall, but I can't prove it one way or the other. Okay, let's go back to the bottom row. One of these is even, one is odd. One of these is even, one is odd. And again here, one each. Now what can we not have there? We can't have double orange in those positions. So one of those two is even. That means either this is odd or both of those are odd. I don't know how to use that. It's probably numbers. I'm probably missing something important about numbers. I just don't think it can be shapes and colours and runs anymore, because I've kind of found everything you can at this point. Haven't I? Maybe not. I hear some people shouting at the back, no, you haven't. Okay, where's the 3 in column 4? It's not in any of these odd cells, so it's either there or in one of those two. This is another of those boxes with the same pattern. If that was odd, these would both have to be even. And all of these would be odd. That would be forced to be even. Would be the last even in its column. I don't know, this doesn't yield anything. Oh, what am I missing, Aaron? These are tough odds. 9 in box 1 is in one of those positions. I mean, there's nothing to look for in boxes except in row 9, where I have to avoid a triple odd there. There's no uncertainty about odd even triples in the southwest side of the grid. So, given that I can't find anything from observing that, let's look in the northeast side of the grid, because that's where the action lies. One of those pairs is double odd. If that's odd, this is even. Okay, that's interesting. If this is odd, this cell is even to stop that 3 working. Then both of these are odd, and that one. Then what? We've still got two more odds. They can't both be in column 9. And this one wasn't odd. Yes, so that would be odd. This is all based on row 5, column 8 being odd. All of these in this box are odd then. Now, that's going to make this one odd because there's even in row 3, column 8 to block it off. So I'm colouring my odds very diligently here. It's one of each in this column. Yeah, that's interesting because now we need double even at the top of column 9. That's unexpected. Ah, and that won't work. Okay, here's a very exciting conclusion about this cell. If this was even, this would be a run of 6 cells with only one even in, and somewhere in it you'd have to have 3 odds. That is very hard for someone like me to spot, but I've done it. This one is odd. It can't be even, or you will have an infraction of the rule somewhere here. Now, once that is odd, then I think we have this situation where if I make that odd, that becomes even, that becomes odd. We've got odds here and here. We've got 3 evens. We need 1 even there, so that's odd. This is even. That's odd. And we're not going to get enough evens in the final column. The cells I've highlighted are odd. And that's 5, and we're going to have another one here. So that is not happening. So this one is not odd. This is even. That's how I found it out. And there we go. That's all 4 evens in row 5. So those become odd. That's even on the count in box 4. This is odd counting the column. This is even counting the column. Now I don't have to worry about 3 odds in the bottom row. Not that I really was. Now, what else have we got going on here in box 6? We've got 3 evens. The 4th even has to be in one of those 2 cells, otherwise we get 3 odds there. And therefore these 2 are both odd. That's solid deduction. We've still got this issue with 4 odds in the column. And we're going to get a 5th one now there. So these 2 are even. That completes the count in row 3. That's odd. That's 2 odds needing to be topped by an even. We've got 3 evens already in box 3. The 4th one can't be here or we'd have a run of 3 odds. And now we can count this column where we've only got 3 evens, and that goes even. And this must be the odd digit in the box, and it's a 3. Well, we can count these rows for goodness sake. That's odd, that's even. I mean, look at these little patterns left over. Now, in this row, we've got 1 more even to go. This was the key row, wasn't it? We can't put that even here or here, because that would leave a run of 3 odds. So those 2 are both odd. That's giving us a twosome and a twosome. Those are both even. They're the last evens in the box. These ones go odd. This one is just counting the top row, or the box 3 becomes even. This one counts column 6. And there we go. We've filled the grid with colour. Now we just need to fill it with number. This has proved much harder than I was expecting. This is the only place for 4 in box 4. Then 4's in one of those cells. That's the only place for 4 in box 1 now. Good, that's a start. 4 in box 3 is in what? one of those two, which is an X-wing with 4 in box 9. The 4 in column 7 has to be here. Okay, that might be as much as I can do on 4s for the time being. I'm not sure. Not trying to make a rhyme here. Okay, bottom row. This one is a 5 in its box. This is 1 or 7. That's very clear. That 5 is not telling me. It's telling me this is a 7-9 pair in the column. Maybe I should have stuck to evens. Probably there are 2 puzzles to do now here. One is about evens and one is about odds. That is quite likely at this point, because none of them are going to affect the other digits actually. So yeah, that must be a fair deduction. I wonder if we're going to have to colour though. That is 6 or 8. It sees 4 and 2. This is 2 or 8. 4, 6. One of these is a 2, and that means there's only one place for 2 in box 6. That's going to fix 8 and 2 in box 5. I don't know where 2 goes there, but I do know what digit this is. That's a 6. That finishes the evens in box 1. That gives me a 6 in box 2 and a 4 there in the row 2. That's now a 6. That's a 4. This is coming together. I'm warning you. That is a 2-8 pair, and that's a 6. This is 8. That's 2. This is 4. That's 2 or 8. There's only one place for 4 in the box. That's probably the last 4 in the grid. This is an 8. That's a 6. What have we got? 2 and 8 here. They can go in. I don't understand. Oh, right. 2 is done there. I didn't understand how I couldn't resolve those, but it's just because I wasn't seeing the necessary Sudoku. That's an 8. That's a 6. That's a 2. The evens puzzle is done. We can move on to the odds, which is going to be a bit harder because there are 5 of them. Ganging up on us, if you like. Now, 5 I've already limited there. That is 5, 7 or 9. I don't know what I'm looking at here yet. 3 is in one of those 2 cells in box 3. 3 we know is in one of those 2 in box 4. This shouldn't be this tricky, I don't think. 7 can't be there or there. These are from 159. So is that digit. 1. These are from 137, as is that one. 4, 8, 5, 2, 6. Still got 1, 3, 7, 9 to place in the centre. This is the sort of puzzle where I think, how can it possibly disambiguate from this point? There just doesn't seem to be enough information, and yet it always does. Now, this sees 3 and 5, so let's put in 179. If this was from 179, this would definitely be a 5. Then we'd have 5 here, 5 in one of those. Oh, look, 5, there's an X-wing on 5s. The 5 in box 1 is in row 1 or 2. The 5 in box 2 is in row 1 or 2. So the 5 in row 3 is in one of those 2 cells, and that's not a 5. 5's in one of these 2. I can't grab another complementary X-wing off the back of that, I don't think. Oh, gosh. It's very much attritional gains at the moment. 9. 9 in box 1 is in one of those digits, one of those rows. The 9 in box 2 might be in that pair, but it could be in one of these. This is difficult. 2, 6, 4, 8. There's probably going to be a sort of Y-wing, something hinged on one cell that tells you where everything else goes somehow. Or it's often the given digits that I just don't see the implications of somehow, even the straightforward implications. So the 5 in box 4 is in one of those cells. The 5 in box 6 is in one of those. I don't know. It doesn't seem to absolutely solve everything. Good grief, I'm going to have to colour. I don't know what to colour. I can't pick a digit that's interesting to colour. Okay, if that's a 9, then that's a 9, and that's a 9, and that's a 9. Okay, that might be an interesting way of going about it. That's a 9, that's a 9. Yes, and that rules out anywhere for 9 in box 3. Look at that. I'm going to go through that again because that is just fascinating. Let me see if I got it right. So I was saying, if this is a 9, the 9 in box 6 goes there. The 9 in box 5 goes there. The 9 in box 8 is there. The 9 in box 1 has to be here. That's right. Then the 9 in box 2 is there, and now there is literally no way you can put it in box 3. So that is not a 9. That is complicated final step. And I say final because that normally turns out to be the sort of final step you get. But I haven't proven anything is final yet. But I do need... What's going on in this column? I was going to say I need a 3. We've had it. It was a given. Bother. That's 1, 5, or 9. Okay, maybe we're going to have to do another step a bit like that. That's terrifying because that one was hard enough. That's 1 or 7. That's 5 or 7. Maybe I should really be focusing on box 3 and what's limited in each cell. But unfortunately, this cell, row 1, column 8, is not very limited at all. Oh, look, that's become a 1, 7 pair in column 4. So the other digits there are 3 and 9, if I'm reading the runes right. Now, here, that means this can't be a 9, 3 pair. And therefore, I was going to say one of these must be 1, but that's not necessarily true. It could be a 9, 7 pair. So that was nearly a very false conclusion. One of these two is a 1. Okay, maybe I'm going to... I don't think I'm making the progress I was expecting, so I'm going to colour this. Am I? That's going to colour this cell the same. And then one of these two. I don't know that really gets me to the position I need to. If this is a 1, that's a 1. Okay, let's try something like this. Then that's a 1 in, how do I know that? In row 3. Then that's a 1. One of those is a 1. Okay, well that really survived the task of being a 1 perfectly well. If it's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 3. Then we've got 1, 5, 7 sitting here. So if that's a 9, which forces 9 here, then that becomes 3 and that becomes 9. Now we've got 9s in these positions, hypothetically. Is that a problem for anyone? No. Well, that becomes a 9. I hadn't noticed that. But it survives fine. So this could be a 9. Okay, let's try the effect of this being a 5. That's a 5. That's a 5. Is it doing anything else? No, I don't know how to get through this. I really don't. Okay, I was going to colour 1s and 7s, so let's do it. Yellow, red, yellow. Yellow must be in one of these cells, and red must be in one of this group. Now that's going to mean 1s. Oh, we've got a 7 in this row. Oh, bother. So we already know that 7's in one of those cells. Okay, if that was 7, that would be 7 in column 9. That would be 7 in box 1. That would be 7. That would be 7 in row 3. That would be 7. That would be 7. And 7s would be fine. Okay, that wasn't the approach. Oh, we know that 5's in one of these, and this can't be 1. So I'm pencil marking 3, 7, and 9. 2, 4, 1, 8, 6. Ah, this is very tricky. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, yellow and red didn't do anything. That was not where to get the markings done. What else can we try? Something is logical here, and it's not me. Wow. There must be a logical breakthrough. Okay, one of those is a 9. Why isn't that interesting? It just doesn't feel interesting. And then here we have a 3 and either 1 or 5. Oh my goodness, I don't know. It's literally going to be one of these questions about imagine this is such and such a digit. And then it's going to fail. I mean, I've done one of those already and it blooming wasn't enough. Okay, where does this digit go in box 3? I think it has to go there because neither of these are 3 or 9. So that digit is there. Those are the same. Let's give them a bit of yellow just in case. This is the other type of 3 or 9. And now this digit cannot be 3 or 9 and it also can't be 1. So that must be 5 or 7. That's a pair in the column. This is 3 or 9. We know it's not yellow, so it's red. Then we've got a red 3 or 9 in one of those cells. And a yellow one in one of those. And this isn't doing anything anymore. It did a bit and then it stopped. It was useful for a moment. Well, I mean, what did it get me? It got me something, didn't it? Not a full digit, but a bit of information. Oh, look, in this row, where can 3 go now? There we go, in the red cell. So 3 is red, 9 is yellow. Those two colours have done their jobs. Thank you, red and yellow. 9 and 9 there. What? Come on, come on, come on. It must do something. This is a 1, 5, 7 triple. Is it the 3s? Yes, 3 in box 4 is there. This digit is not 3. It's also not 9, so it's 1 or 5. How are we doing on 3s? Not at all well, if I... Ah, that 9 has fixed lots of digits up here in box 3, which was always the key box somehow. and is now completely finished. And that will get us home. Okay, that'll do the puzzle, but my goodness, that was a tough old stretch. Oh dear, I've made a bit of a fool of myself, I think, again. 1 or 7 there. That's a 3-5 pair at the top. We know the order. That's 7, that's 1. We've got 7 at the bottom and 1, 9 and 3. 1, this is just ordinary Sudoku elimination at this point. 9 and 7, there we go. Tough odds indeed. That was not the puzzle I was expecting when we began, or indeed when we actually made progress. So we had, look, this little chain of 2x2s as the pattern, and then a few ladders. That's so strange. Oh well. I never know what to expect when we take on a Sudoku, and that one was certainly one of those. I don't know what to expect. Good fun though. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.